What if I told you that the most talked about player at the 2026 World Cup is a 40-year-old goalkeeper who didn't even go pro until he was 25, and after the game of his life, he cried. Not from joy, because his mom couldn't get a visa to be there. Like, meet Vozinha. His real name is Yosimar Jose Ivora Diaz, and he was born in Mindelo, a town of 70,000 people on the islands of Cape Verde off the coast of West Africa. He grew up raised mostly by his grandparents, while his father served in the military and his mother worked away from home. As a kid, older boys used to beat him on the soccer field, then laugh, saying he was going home to cry to his grandparents. The nickname stuck. Vozinha, Portuguese for little granny. Years later, he owned it. He always wanted to be a striker, and his dad even wanted to name him Valdano after the Argentine forward from Real Madrid, but the government wouldn't allow it, so instead he became a goalkeeper and a very late bloomer. He didn't turn professional until age 25, debuting for a local Cape Verde club called Batuk FC in 2007. The same year Spain's teenage star Lamine Yamal was born. From there, his career took him across 4 continents: Angola, Moldova, Cyprus, Slovakia, and Portugal, grinding through lower leagues most fans have never heard of. His only trophy in 19 years, a Cypriot Cup in 2019, he kept going anyway because he had a dream to play at a World Cup. On June 15th, 2026, in Atlanta, Georgia, Cape Verde played their first ever World Cup match. Their opponent, Spain, the number 2 team in the world, reigning European champions, a squad so deep their bench players would start for almost any other team here. Spain took 27 shots. Vozinha stopped 7 of them. Every time Spain broke through, there he was, diving, leaping, pushing the ball away. At 40 years old, at the World Cup, the final score, 0-0, one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history. Cape Verde had their first ever point, and Vozinha, who had 50,000 Instagram followers that morning, woke up the next day with over 2 million. Paul Pogba posted about him. The whole world was asking, who is this man? But after the whistle, Vozinha broke down in tears, and here's why. He looked up and said, "I cried because I grew up with my grandparents, and unfortunately they're not here. They died a few years before, and they did everything for me." And then he said something that hit even harder. "My mom, she didn't manage to be here because of the visa. We didn't manage the money in time. I would have liked her to be here." The man just made history on the world's biggest stage, and all he wanted was his mom in the stands. Vozinha's story is proof that it's never too late. 40 years old, playing in Portugal's second division, raised by his grandparents on a tiny island most people couldn't find on a map, and he just stopped Spain. That's the World Cup. Subscribe to Soccer Decoded. We'll keep breaking down every story worth knowing.